So here we have finished all the steps and I want to test this application also. So I right click to the application, click on run as Android application. So you can see here launching to my mobile. I connected my mobile already, and here you can see this is my mobile screen. Using this software Droid Add Screen, I want to show my mobile screen onto the laptop screen. Press it 2 times. Press the projector button. No. Power button. Yeah, fine. So you can see here, this is the button we have created. Now on my mobile, I press the button, and when I press the button, I will see some toast message here. This is the toast message. You clicked me. This is the toast message which is coming here on this screen. Okay. Here, this is the method number 1. This is the method number 1 to handle the button click. We want to see different methods also. So here I open the existing file. So here these are the 4 steps to handle the click. Steps are 4, but how are the methods? How are the methods? Okay, we want to discuss 5 methods to handle the click event. Method number 1 is the main activity, which extends the activity class. It should implement the on-click listener. This thing we have discussed. Okay. Now what is the next step? The next one is the using inner class. Okay, next method we are going to discuss using inner class, or we can also call it member class. Handling the click event using the inner class or using the member class. This is the second step we want to see. Now here I want to perform the same thing. In my layout XML, I have added one button. You can see here. This is the activity underscore main.xml. And here in the activity underscore main.xml, I am creating one button using the XML. This is the button. The name of the button is the click me button. ID is button 1. And what is the requirement? When I click this button, I want to see some result. And what is the result I want to see? You clicked me. This is the result I want to see. Now after creating the button in the XML, go to main activity. In this main activity, first I will remove this thing. So here you can see, here is the main activity class. Here is the main activity class. Now here first we will create the button instance. In this class main activity, I want to create a button instance here. So I write here button click. This is the instance. The second step, we have to create one button from XML. Loading data for Android. We wait here. How to create button object? Here we can create the button object. btn click is equal to typecast to button, find view by id. Why I am typecasting to button? Because the find view by id method returns view, and here I write r.id.button1. Okay, from this id we have to create one view, and this view is converted to button, and the button is referenced by this instance variable btn click. Now here we are going to declare one class, we are going to define one class. Inside this class we are going to create one inner class. And what is the class name? Here is the class, public class handle click. This is my class name, handle click. And this class implements the on click listener. This class is implementing the on click listener. Now if any class is implementing some interface like this on click listener, this class should override the method. And what is the method name? The method name is the public void on click method. You can click this option, add unimplemented method, which will automatically override the method stuff, and here it will provide this method. And here we have to write the code. Here we can write the code what we want when the button is clicked. Now what is the code we want? We want here this code toast dot make text. Here we have to use the application context, the text you clicked me. Okay, and here I will write this is inner class method. This is inner class method, you clicked me. And here we have to set some duration. I will set the duration, and dot show method will call the method, will display this message actually. Now the class is created, handle click. The button is also created, but one step we have to register this button. We have to register this button to listen the button click. So here we have to write btn click dot set on click listener. Now what is the argument for this method? The argument for this method is any instance or any object who is implementing this on click listener. Right now this handle click class, which is an inner class, is implementing the on click listener. So here I can provide one instance of handle click. Here I can provide the instance of handle click. So here this is the guy, or this is the class, this is the object, this is the one who is going to respond to the button click. Whenever the button is clicked, one new object of this will be created, and this object represents the method on click. So here we'll run this application. Right click, run as Android application, click yes. I can see this result on my mobile. This is my mobile screen, and I'm going to click this button, click me. And once I click this button, click me, you can see one toast message will appear here. This is inner class method, you clicked me. So one new message is coming here. As I press the button, something happens. So this is about handling the button click in second way. This is the second method. And what is the second method? The second method is creating the inner class. How to create the inner class? I want to write here. Sorry. This is public class main activity extends activity. In this main activity there should be some on create method. And here is some code we have to write. Now inside this main activity we can create one class. We can create this protected class also. Protected class handle click. Name it anything. My class name is the handle click. And this class is implementing the on click listener. And here we have to provide the unimplemented method, on click method, which has one argument of view type, view v. And here we can write the code. Now we have to register this object to respond to the button click. So first we have to create here one button 1. We have to create the object something like button 1 is equal to typecast to button using the method find view by id bracket r.id.button1. This is the reference, This is the reference of the XML button, and here we have to register this button using the set on click listener method, and we have to pass here instance of new handle click. Because here this is the class who is implementing the on click listener, and the argument type of this method is the class who is implementing the on click listener. If this class is implementing the on click listener, just provide this here. Right now this class is not handling, this class is not implementing the on click listener, this class is implementing the on click listener. So we have to pass instance of this class for registering for this button, for registering the click event for this button. And here is the program we have created. Okay, first I declared one instance of button. Here I am creating a button by the reference of XML button 1. Here click listener, set on click listener method I am using, and this is the method, this is the class I am writing, this is the inner class. Okay, so this is the second method using the inner class or member class. Now what is the third step? The third step is using interface type method, using interface type method. Before that I will go for anonymous instance, anonymous class, using anonymous class. This is one more method using anonymous class. This is the third method. What is anonymous class? Whenever we create a button like this, button is equal to new button, find view by ID, and here we write something r.id.button1. Here directly we can write this button1 dot set on click listener bracket. Directly we can create here one object on click listener. This is anonymous object we are creating, and here itself we have to define this object. Here itself we have to define this object. Here itself we have to define this object. Okay, so here actually what is the requirement? What should we pass to this method? We have to pass any object, okay, which implements on click listener, which implements the on click listener. Okay, so why not create here an anonymous instance of on click listener? So here we are creating the anonymous class. Anonymous class means class not having any name. Okay, this is anonymous class, and here I have to define the method. Here I have to define the method. What is the method? Public void on click method, which is having one view type of argument. And here we have to write the code. Here we have to write the code. Whatever you want to write the code here, you can write here. So this is the method. Here we are defining one class. This is one class. Okay, this is the object of that class, and it is implementing this method public void on click. So whenever the button is clicked, this anonymous class will respond to that button click, and this anonymous class object will call this method on click. That means the class is created, object is created, method will be called. Something like this it will happen in the runtime. Now let's execute this example also. Now here I want to remove this. This also I want to remove. Once again I will start here. Button is created, button instance is created, button is created, and after that we have to write like this: button click dot set on click listener. Here directly write new on click listener and press enter. Automatically it will create the method. Just we have to end up with this semicolon, and here we have to write the code, and this is the code you can see here, toast.make-test. Okay, I cut this from the previous example, and this is anonymous instance. This is anonymous instance method, and using this method we are implementing the listener. Now once again we'll test this application. Run as Android application. Click yes. It is launching this application on my mobile, and here you can see this is my mobile, and on this mobile I will go to test this application. So here I'll click this button, and once I click this button we will see a toast message appearing here, and the toast message should be, this is anonymous instance method, you clicked me. So here we are able to handle the click using the third method also. Which method to use, that we can decide. Okay, I just want to learn different ways to handle the button click. First method I told you, main activity extends activity implements the on click listener, means something like this we have to write. Okay, this is the code we have to write. Okay, this class implements the on click listener and provides this method here, and by writing this we are registering it. The next I used the inner class or member class. I declared the member class inside the activity class, and I am registering that class to respond the button click. And here I am creating an anonymous instance of a class. This is an anonymous instance of a class who is responding to the button click. Now step number next is the number 4 method is using interface type. Using the interface type. That means what? We can create here one instance of on click listener. On click listener, my listener. Is equal to new on click listener, and here we have to provide the description. Same thing, here we have to write this. This is also one kind of anonymous instance. Here semicolon should be provided. Okay, the same thing here I am writing actually. Only thing I am creating instance. I am creating instance of this. You can see here this is the same thing. What I write here, this is the same thing. Okay, the same thing I am writing here. Only thing I am actually saving the reference of this anonymous instance. I am saving reference of this instance to this variable my listener. And now I can use this to register to a button. Okay, that means I can write here button1 dot set on click listener, set on click listener bracket my listener. So what is my listener? This my listener is nothing but this thing. Okay, it is one object which is overriding the method on click method, and in this on click method we are writing some code. So this method is also workable. Now let's write this method also. I want to delete this, rather I will copy this. Now first we have to create the instance of on click. On click listener, my listener is equal to, I paste it, new on click listener, and here at the end we have to provide the semicolon. So you can see here the code is same, only I am creating here one new instance. Insert colon to complete the, what is missing here? Yeah, one more bracket I have to provide here, because this is where we start the class, this is where we start the method description, this is end of the method, and this is end of the class. Okay, here this is the method public void on click. Here I start the method, here I finish the method, and this is the end of the class definition. And now I can write like this here, button click dot set on click listener, and here simply provide my listener, because this my listener is having the reference of object on click listener, and this object is responsible for responding to the button click. Okay, now only I want to change the text message. This is the interface type method. Interface type method. We created one interface type object. Okay, now right click to this application, click run as, and set this Android application. Click on yes. And now we want to test this application also. Yeah, I want to click this button on my mobile, and when I click this button, you will see some result here. What is the result? On my mobile I quickly get the message, but this is not my mobile actually. This is just a screen which is displaying my mobile screen. Okay, this software is called as a Droid at Screen software. Okay, which displays the Android device onto the PC screen. So on my mobile I can see the message here. This is interface type method. Okay, once again I click this button. Yeah, please check it on the mobile. It's working. Okay, right now it is not showing. Yeah. This is, you can see, this is interface type method. We are getting the correct result only. Okay. Now this is the fourth method using the interface type. Okay. Now the fifth method. The fifth is a very interesting method. And what is the method? Using Android colon on click attribute. Using Android colon on click attribute. This is the method number 5. This is the method number 5 using Android colon on click attribute. Now what is this using Android colon on click attribute? See here, in the first method I implemented the on click listener to the activity class. In second I created the inner class and implemented this method inside the inner class. In the next I was creating one anonymous instance, and in the fourth method I am creating a reference type object of on click listener, object of on click listener which is referencing to the object of on click listener. Now no need to do all this stuff. Okay, I just want to remove everything from here. This registration, okay, this whatever we are using, even this registration also, this creating button also I am removing. Okay, this instance also I am removing. Okay, maybe you may wonder, okay, by seeing this step. Okay, now what I am doing here, see, right now there is nothing in this main activity. I want to go to the activity underscore main, and in this button I am adding here one more attribute, and the attribute is the on click, Android colon on click, and here simply I write do something. That's it. Now what is this do something? This do something is nothing but it is a method we have to create inside the class. Okay, here I am creating one simple method, public void do something. Only the thing, it should have one view type of argument, and that's it. Here the code goes here. So very simple thing. Okay, you should write the code whatever you want to perform here. This is the toast dot make text get application context. I want to write here, this is Android colon on click attribute method, you clicked me. Here I want to display some duration, and dot show method to display the toast. That's it. It's a very simple thing. Simple two things we have to do. We have to create one button having one more attribute, What is the attribute? The attribute is the on click attribute. We have to add on click attribute. You can see here on click attribute. And what is the next thing? In a main activity, one simple method we have to add. No need of implementing the on click listener, no need of registering anything. Okay, whenever we click the button, whenever we click this button, automatically this do something method will be called. Okay, this is what we have to write in the main.xml, and this is what we have to write inside the main.java file, and the thing will work. Now I will go to test this application also. Right click here, run as Android application. I click on OK. Now this will launch this application once again to my mobile, and I want to test this one also. If I click this button, you can see the message on my mobile. Immediately you can see the message. Here it is taking a little bit extra time to see the message, but we can see the message here. Once again click this button and we will see the message here. It's not updating early here, but if you run this application in emulator, or yes, this is Android on click attribute method. Okay, so how many methods we are discussing here? Total 5 methods of handling the click event. Okay, Viraj, which method you will find most easier method? The fifth one, na? Okay, but here I want to tell you one thing. This method works only with the click event. Okay, in our application we are going to have different event also. Means there will be some checkbox, there will be some radio button, there will be some long press action we want to perform. This fifth method will not work for each and every event. This has only one attribute on click. Okay, so whenever click is required, we can use this. Okay, now, so will you use this fifth method for each and every event? No. Now here also, the first method, main activity extends activity implements on click listener. Now what is the problem with this actually? Right now we are interested only handling the click event. We are telling the Android that we are interested in handling the click event only. But sometimes I want to handle the select event also, some check event also, because there may be some different UI elements like checkbox, radio buttons. If there are 5 events we want to handle, we have to implement 5 listeners. Okay, and as there are many listeners, okay, there should be number of methods we have to write. There should be number of methods we have to write. Okay, so here this first thing will save a small amount of memory. Okay, new object is needed to contain on click. Okay, but as you implement more and more interfaces, the number of methods increases inside the class. So anyway, okay, I will find this method suitable because we are writing the logic inside the another class. Okay, I find this method suitable because here the UI is different and the logic is different, something called as event delegation model. Okay, otherwise this method is also perfect. But suppose there are 2 buttons, button 1 and button 2. If I am using the anonymous instance, I have to write button 1 dot set on click listener anonymous. Same thing I have to copy for second button also. Okay, so here we have to understand all these 5 methods. You have to practice all these 5 methods, and as per the requirement you would go for the correct application. You would go for the correct method what we can use for your particular application. Okay, so here we stop this session. After this again there is a 5-minute break and we will continue one more example. We are going to create one example. We want to input 2 numbers and we want to display addition and subtraction. This simple example we want to execute, okay, after a simple break. So here we will stop today.